Today we are going to continue from tutorial 4 of JavaScript tutorial, and today's class is going to be data types and variables in JavaScript. Data types and variable is something that is common to all programming languages. So if you learn it in JavaScript, you can actually use this knowledge in any other programming language. In the previous tutorial, we actually discussed JavaScript placement in HTML file, and remember, this tutorial is actually HTML JavaScript tutorial. So we're actually going to be doing the two at the same time. If you've not done the three previous tutorials, I recommend you go back to do them and then come back to continue on this one. So you can actually still meet up the lessons. So we have tutorial 1, 2, 3 covered. Today we are going to continue with tutorial 4. I would also like to remind you to subscribe to my channel so you can get updates. Every time I make lessons, you can get updates if you subscribe. So click on this subscribe button below so you can get updates and also motivate me to continue making these lessons. If you have any challenges or even any programming language or question you want to ask, leave it in the comment box for me below and I'm going to respond to you to give you the support you need, because I actually love making these lessons for everyone. I want many programmers to actually develop programming skills. So let's go to our lessons for today. Hoping you've subscribed. Let's now discuss data types in JavaScript. So there are four topics we are going to discuss: JavaScript data types, variables, and variable scope, as well as variable names. Now, in other programming languages, there are different data types like integer, string, character, and so on and so forth. In JavaScript, there are only 3 primitive data types, or 3 native data types, and they are numbers, string, and boolean. Numbers are simply 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is real numbers, even numbers with decimal places. All of them qualify to be numbers. That is numbers you can use for calculation. Then we have string. String is text enclosed in double quotes. Like examples are given here. For instance, learn JavaScript enclosed in double quotes. Then we have boolean. That is true or false values. And now we also have something called the trivial data types, for instance, null or undefined. Then we have composite data types. Let's not get too much involved in all these. Let's now see how to declare a variable before you use it. A variable, for instance, is containers of data. For instance, you have a number like 100, you place it into a container or memory location. That becomes the variable. So when you say a is equal to 3, that becomes that a is a variable holding a value of 3. And now in JavaScript, you need to declare your variables before you use them. Well, you declare a variable by using the var keyword. So you have var score, var name, var address, like this example we have here. Now when you declare a variable, you also now initialize it by assigning a value to it. So now you can declare a variable and assign value to it at the same time. Alright, enough of these stories. Let's set up our HTML file. Now I'm going to borrow the HTML page from here and then use it to set up a new one. So let me just say new. So blank page. Sorry, this. So I'm going to paste this. Let me take out all this, the scripts that we already wrote here. I'm going to take it out so that it remains just the skeleton of this code, right? So now we have body, the body tag. Remember that all tags are in pairs. So you have head, you must have /head somewhere. So /head. If you have body, you have /body, and you have HTML/HTML. So everything we are going to be doing, it inside the body. The body contains what will display on the web page. Again, remember to save, and I'm going to save it as prog4. So if you save everything and we select HTML from here, so hypertext markup language, and now it recognizes it. If you save everything in the same folder, Notepad++ will help you see everything arranged in your workspace while you are using Notepad. So now let's copy this code, this script, and put it inside the HTML file. So this. So we have a complete JavaScript code in HTML. So Here we have variable score is equal to 58.7, variable var name is equal to Soleil Okeke, var address is equal to. So what I'm doing here is that I'm declaring the variable score and also initializing it at the same time. So when you assign the initial value to a variable, you initialize it. So take note of these terms. We have declaration, we have initialization. These two terms is very important and it's across all programming languages. Now, what's a variable scope? This is another term also common in different programming languages. A variable scope means the region of code or the block of code where the variable is visible. So if you write a function, then we say that inside this function, it becomes a function scope. A local variable is a variable that is within a block of code. So within this block of code, that variable is visible and accessible only within this block of code. Outside the block of code, it will not be visible. For global variables, they are accessible in all parts of the program, throughout the program, inside and outside different functions. Let's use this and see how exactly it works. So I'm going to take the script from this code here. Instead of typing it out, let me just take the script and paste it here, then we try to understand what is happening here. I can't remember whether we've discussed functions in JavaScript. If not, then maybe I'll put the link in the description box here in the below this video. Now we have a function. The name of this function is var scope. So this is how you create a function in JavaScript. Function var scope, then open braces, close braces, means this is a block of code. So we have var variable 1 is equal to local variable. So variable 1 is a local variable inside this var scope. It means that inside these variables, inside this function var scope, variable 1 is visible, right? So I'm going to save it. I want to see what is going to happen when this code executes, or when we view this page. We say document.write variable 1. Now take note that variable 1 is assigned a value. Variable 1 is global variable, that is value here, and variable 1 inside this function is local variable. Which one actually will be written? Because we are writing variable 1. Which one is going to be written? Let's view this page and then see. Again, I have the page, the directory open, so I can just run it, and you can see it's going to. Okay, so seems it doesn't show nothing. So let's troubleshoot to know where this problem is coming from. So we have. Okay, so I actually need to call var scope. Let me see, just a second. Okay, just see var scope. Okay, so let's save and then let's go back to the page. I'm going to refresh. Again, nothing happens. So let's see here. We have head/head, title/title. Document.write variable 1. Okay. Var variable 1. Let's see. Missing out something. Script/scripts. Okay. So it should display something. Okay, let's refresh and see what happens. Okay, so let's try something. I'm going to just take this document.write, copy it and put outside the function, Ctrl V, and I'm going to save and I'm going to run it again. One good thing about programming is to have debugging skills, alright? So now it displays global variable. The reason it displayed global variable is because this is written outside the function, right? So it's actually using value of variable 1 for this one. But now we need to also okay, so Okay. Document.write variable 1. Okay. Scope. Alright, so let's put a semicolon after this and see what happens. I'm going to save, and I'm going to go back to the browser and I'm going to refresh. Okay, fine. Sometimes it happens, so debugging skills is very important. So let me explain to you what is happening here. In this case, we need to call this function before it executes, and it needs a semicolon at the end of it. So when we call this function var_scope, it displays local variable, because local variable is a local variable inside this function. So take some time to read it up and see how you can understand it. We also have concept of variable names. So there must be rules you need to follow when you are naming variables. For instance, a variable name cannot start with a number, either 0 or 9, or even minus or plus. A variable name should start with a letter or an underscore. So for instance, I gave some examples. For instance, we have score32 is a valid variable. Underscore first name, address, they are valid variables. But 23 score is not a valid variable. Again, you cannot name a variable with a reserved word or keyword in JavaScript. So you can't say a variable can have a name called export or break or this or abstract. These are not valid names of variables because these words are reserved words. Now, these are lists of reserved words in JavaScript, right? So take note of them and take some time to review this lesson, because it talks about variable names, variables, and data types. This is a universal concept in programming, and you understand it will help you in other programming languages. I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to recommend you you make some changes in this code, run it, view it, and see how it works. Remember to subscribe, like this video, and also leave a comment if there is something you find informative for you.